Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how fear is holding you back and how you can overcome fear to succeed in life. Very important first is to identify our subconscious fears we have, and the way we can do that I'm going to show you in the video. So we all know those kinds of situations where we procrastinate on things we actually want to do, or we run away or fear some things and we don't take chances we would like to, or maybe not uploading YouTube videos because we're way too scared what other people think of us. So today I want to talk about the way you can identify what your fear is. Most of the time, fear shows in our lives where we run away from things, or we procrastinate, or we react with strong emotions like anger or frustration. Those kind of reactions show that there is some underlying subconscious belief there that fears us and makes us react. So if you want to figure out what kind of fear mechanism you have or how you react when you get scared and maybe get negative feelings or thoughts like I'm not good enough or I'm not able to do that. So I'm going to explain you 3 ways how humans react to fear. Number 1, it's the flight modus. It is when you get scared or you feel uncomfortable, you run away, you just want to quickly get away from the situation. You feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go away. It's danger here. It feels too uncomfortable. Or you just procrastinate. You just don't want to face the situation. You get too overwhelmed, or those negative feelings make you think like you're not good enough. So you don't want to go and maybe study or write that article or go to the job, go do your work for the job, because you think like maybe you cannot even do it properly. Maybe you're going to disappoint someone in your life, and all these negative feelings stop you from doing it. So type number 2 is the freeze modus. We all know those situations where we get so scared, like we don't even know what to do. We kind of freeze in the situation. It's like this animal in front of a car. It doesn't move. It just doesn't run away. It's like your body is frozen. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. You're so overwhelmed with those emotions that you cannot do anything. And the third type is the fight modus. When somebody maybe criticizes you and you get feared or you get scared, some kind of emotions are triggered in your system. You fight back. You're like, okay, no, that can't be true. And you go immediately into, I need to do something against it. No, I cannot leave it like this. This kind of emotion and this kind of way you react to the situation. Most of the time, if somebody criticizes you and you can just calmly listen to it and maybe think about, is this person right? Or should I maybe consider the situation? But if you immediately feel triggered and this emotion comes up and you're like, oh, I need to do something, this is something that's triggered inside of you. It's like, it's something you maybe need to really feel into and see what the thought behind it is. Maybe it is some kind of trauma that is coming up, childhood trauma. But what happens if I decide, well, then I am scared, then it doesn't matter. So we all get scared. Yeah, this might be true, but I'm talking about those situations where you get a new job offer that is so much better than you have right now. Or maybe you want a new relationship, but you're way too scared to date because you get insecure and you fear showing yourself. Or maybe you want to start a new career because you're very unhappy with your job at the moment or with the life you have right now. Those kind of fears are holding you back, because if you would overcome those fears, you could succeed in life and go somewhere and do something that fits better to you. But if you just keep isolating yourself because of fear maybe, or stop accepting those chances, what will happen? You will always be frustrated, and then you isolate even more because you're frustrated, and at the end of the day you might even need psychological help because you're so unhappy in your life. And it doesn't mean that this is something bad. If you need help, it is always okay to ask someone or go to a professional to get some help. But I'm talking about all those opportunities and chances in our lives that we would actually love to do, but we're just way too scared to go on. But tell me, how can I overcome this kind of fear? How can I make something or do something against it? It is such a strong feeling. It is so hard to overcome. I totally understand. But once you work on those kind of emotions, those subconscious beliefs, this mindset around it, you will see that suddenly you feel like you can conquer the world. Because if you can conquer your fears, what is holding you back? What is holding you back to live your dream life? Nothing is holding you back. It's just yourself sometimes, your thoughts, your mindset. And we are triggered by our thoughts and our emotions, and they play such a huge role in our life, because what we think actually creates our reality, and that is a totally different topic I'm going to talk about, but how we can overcome these little fears. One method Dr. Luana Martinez talked about, she's a mental health expert, and she explained that we really need to face our fears, because our fears are not going away alone. We cannot just sit quietly in them and hope that one day it's going to be gone, because that's not how life works. We really need to work on our mindset. So how can I even start? First of all, it is very important to identify what are my negative beliefs, what are my negative thoughts, and what is actually the emotion behind it that gives me fear. Is it maybe that you feel you're not good enough? Or is it your perfectionism? Or what is it? So you can really work on that. Second of all, figure out what kind of situations are scaring you. One example could be that, for example, you're a student and you're too scared to go to a party alone because maybe you're new in the town or new at the university or maybe new at school or new at work and you don't know anyone and you're just way too scared to go alone. But what happens? You go back to your room and stay alone and sad maybe because everyone is socializing and you're missing out on that opportunity to maybe make new friends and have laughter and fun that day. So it is important to go into that situation and face it. It might be really, really hard because fear is such a strong emotion. But what you do is, if you get the opportunity to go to a party, you go there for 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. That's it. And then you leave again. So you may be asking, Natalie, 10 minutes? Are you sure? What are 10 minutes? 10 minutes are nothing. So then I could stay at home. But no, those 10 minutes, if it is a fear of you, it is very important. Because what happens? You go to the party and then you maybe drink something or walk around, listen to the music, and maybe you're bold enough to dance alone. Maybe you just stand around. That's okay as well. But at least you went to the party. At least you overcame this fear of going there alone. And what happens is your brain thinks like, oh wow, I did it. I actually did it. I overcame this fear. I'm there. And then you go home and you have a good feeling inside. And maybe the next party, you'll stay a little longer, maybe 30 minutes, an hour or so. Or maybe you just meet somebody there, some new friends, and hang out and party or have fun or have good talks and laughter together. So when you go in new situations that scare you, sometimes it brings totally new opportunities you never thought about. So maybe give it a try and maybe work on it. Another example would be, maybe you're a student and you need to write a dissertation and you're just way too scared to do it. You see this mountain of work and you think like, oh my gosh, how am I going to read all those papers? How am I going to do all this research and write like maybe 100 pages? That's way too much. How am I ever going to do it and even do it good? Maybe my family will be disappointed if I quit or if I cannot do it, or my friends will be disappointed, or my professor. All this fear of this potential shame inside you, or that you could even fail. Maybe the fear of failure is holding you back. And what you do is you start procrastinating. Maybe you really want to do it, but you just cannot open a book, or you just cannot read an article or write something, and you try to walk away and do something else, distract, maybe watch hours and hours of Netflix to just not start working or doing something for it. Or maybe cleaning the house, because cleaning the house sounds so much better than studying in this moment. I can totally understand you. I've been there. But what we can do is take small steps, little, tiny steps. Maybe go for the approach that you say, okay, I'm only going to read one page, nothing more than one page. And then at the end of the day, you see, okay, it's not that bad. I read one page, maybe I can read another one. And another one maybe, because I already succeeded. I already checked up one goal today. I read one page. And then you read maybe more than one page. And maybe a few days later, you can actually read a whole chapter, and so on and so forth. Because you get those positive feelings around studying, that it's not as bad as you thought it was. Because if you set little tiny goals and you can actually check them from your to-do list and you succeeded that day, it makes you feel good. Or maybe you need to write something, an essay or anything, and you set really tiny goals. Like, for example, it might be ridiculous, but I sometimes said, okay, if I write at least one sentence, I'm happy for the day. One sentence. Is one sentence so hard to do? It doesn't... I mean, one sentence, you can write one sentence, right? And then when I started writing one sentence, sometimes it was 2 or 3, or a whole paragraph, or a whole page. So what you do is you kind of trust in yourself that you can do what you actually you can do and reach your goals you set for the day. Just setting tiny little milestones you can reach and really celebrating and rewarding yourself is important, because this gives you motivation in life. If you set your standards so high that you cannot even reach it, what's going to happen? You'll be so demotivated and you don't want to start or do it anymore. You think like, what is the point of even trying? Like, I cannot do it anyways. And then those negative thoughts will continue and you will beat yourself up for it. But set tiny goals. You don't even have to talk about your goals with someone if you feel like it's your thing. But at least give it a try. It really helped me, and I hope it helped you too. Another tip is, you know Mel Robbins with the 5-second rules, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go? Sometimes starting is the hardest part. You don't even know where to start, because you think about it, and then all those thoughts come up, and you'll be like, okay, worst case scenario, this and that is going to happen. Oh my God, I'm going to be in shame, and this is going to happen. How? And then you keep worrying and thinking. At the end of the day, you don't even want to start. It's like way too much. You built such a block against it because you thought about all the scenarios that could happen, and you're like, no, I'm not doing this. Not at all. No. But maybe sometimes it is better to not think about it. Just do it. If you did it, then at the end of the day, maybe you think like, it wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even that bad. So sometimes it is best to just be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. No thinking, just doing. And then once you started, it's like starting a momentum, like starting a wheel, and it can continue. So try the 5-second rules if it helps you. Or different techniques you can do, like study techniques or different things, or just stepping outside and tiny little steps to work against your fears. Or maybe if you want to meet the right partner for you, maybe go on a dating app, or maybe just start talking to someone online, chatting before actually meeting in person to conquer those fears. But if you don't move forward, and if you don't do against the subconscious beliefs you have that hold you back, your life is not going to change the way you want to. So I hope you feel inspired to listen to your body and your subconscious, and maybe figure out and identify those fears that are holding you back in your life. And I would love to hear your stories in the comments. and how you maybe worked on your fears and overcame them, and how it changed something in your life. I would really, really love to read that. So, and also if you like this video, I would very happy if you give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel, and see you next time, guys. Bye bye.